Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. The number one cause of death among children is firearms. No, it's actually not. The anti-gun politicians and activists, and honestly the entire left, has been lying for years and years and years, fighting against us. And we have to always take the higher ground because, you know what would happen if we fought dirty the way that they do. But I'm getting absolutely sick of it. And I want to talk about a couple of their lies that just are perpetuated again this week. One of them is perpetuated over and over and over again in this video. So make sure you're subscribed. And we're just going to talk about how they fight dirty. And people unfortunately believe them. But luckily, because of things like YouTube and independent media, we do actually have a voice. And so it's important to get voices like this out to more people. There are a ton of lies that the left perpetuates, that the anti-gun, like I said, the politicians and the activists and the Everytown for Gun Safeties and all these groups are constantly telling that the legacy mainstream media repeats as if it's fact. And one of the big ones that I hear all the freaking time lately is that gun deaths are the number one cause of death among children. Well, that is absolutely not true. And there are other channels that have addressed this. But again, just this week, after the Kansas City parade shooting after the Super Bowl, Kamala Harris got on X, formerly Twitter, and said gun violence is the number one cause of death for children of America, not some form of illness or car accidents. Well, that was an absolute lie. This is the Vice President of the United States lying, knowing that she's lying. And how many millions of people just believe her because they don't do their own independent research? Because they don't follow channels like this one or just other independent media that tells the truth. Right here in this article has CDC data. From the CDC, children are 27 times more likely to die in an accidental car death than in an accidental gun death, according to the CDC. Children are also far more likely to suffer unintentional suffocation death before accidental gun deaths. And the reason for that is this. The whole way that they got the leading cause of death among children is firearms thing was, for one, this is data from 2020. This was when COVID was going on. And yes, there were more firearm-related deaths during COVID, but it wasn't necessarily among children. They also included 18 and 19-year-olds, which are not children, adults. And those were gang-related deaths, a lot of them. Those were, street violence, which was higher during COVID, during the Black Lives Matter protests, during all these things that were going on in 2020. And so that upped their numbers. And they included all that. What they didn't include were young children, babies, which, what are they? Actual children. And so they got these ridiculous statistics that were not true, and they've been spouting this bullshit ever since. I don't know about you guys, but I've had my bank account hacked 3 times just in the last year. I get spam calls all the time. I've had to get new debit cards because it's been such a problem. And that's why I am partnering with Aura. I'm pretty careful about not putting my information out there, but I Googled my email address and there was still tons of stuff about me. Luckily, a lot of it was Sawtooth Tactical. Data brokers literally have all of your information, your full name, your email, your home address, and those of your family, and they sell them to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who might want to target you. That's why I'm using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are using my information and selling it, and automatically submits opt-out requests on my behalf. Check out how many data brokers Aura found that were selling my information. Cleaning up my information helps reduce the amount of spam phone calls and stuff like that I get. And it also protects me from hackers that could use this information to access my social media bank accounts, or other sensitive information. And Aura does so much more to protect me and my family from threats that I can't even see. Aura is very easy to set up. I don't have to download several different apps for things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more. I can get it all in one place for one affordable price. You might already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving the back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work so that I can focus on other things like building this YouTube channel or whatever else that I want to deal with instead of protecting my own personal privacy. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to aura.com/sawtooth-tactical to get your own 2-week free trial. I'll have a link down below in the description. And because they got this data from 2020 and skewed it to, form this false narrative, well, they haven't taken any of the numbers in years since. And they've never explained to anybody, because why would they, that the numbers are lies and that they're, the way that they're put together, it does not tell the whole truth. And even the CDC has come out now and said that that's not true. But yet they still say this. This was just last week, and I hear it literally on a weekly basis, it seems like. Somebody spouting this gun deaths are the number one cause of death among children thing. And then they're not. And it kind of infuriates me at this point. Not kind of, it does. Because I hear this all the time from our so-called leaders in the United States of America. And they're lying. They're lying to you, to me, to everyone else. And while I don't believe it, and I know the truth, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well, I'm sure that there are a lot of people that just believe this shit. And it's got to stop. And so that's why it is very important for channels like this, for you guys to share videos like this, subscribe, comment, all that stuff helps the algorithm, pushes the videos out to more people, and then more people can find out the truth. But there's something else I want to talk about as well. Just in the same vein of the anti-gunners playing dirty, I'm sure you guys know who David Hogg is. He was a Parkland shooting survivor, okay? Well, that was a terrible thing that happened, and I'm not trying to downplay that by any means. But he has become one of the most well-known gun rights activists, and in fact, he is now the president of Leaders We Deserve. That's a funny one. But so this is what he recently did, his newest stunt here, which again is just one of the ways that they played dirty. I don't know if you guys heard about Donald Trump coming out with a shoe that he released at SneakerCon that is selling for like $400. They sold out immediately. He is the whole point of it was to help fund this $355 million settlement against him. A whole nother story that we're not covering on this channel because this is a gun channel. But David Hogg, anti-gunner, so what did he do? He bought a website address referencing the Donald Trump shoe. It's called this is what David Hogg said. I just bought shoptrumpsneakers.com. And this is literally a quote from David Hogg. I have redirected you to a page to call your member of Congress. The twist is the person who makes the call is a victim of gun violence whose voice has been recreated with AI to call for gun safety. So, literally, if you're for one thing, whoever's looking to buy Trump sneakers, probably not an anti-gunner. I know Trump was not the most pro-gun president. Bump stocks, take the guns first, due process second. I understand all that. But most people that are conservative that would support Trump probably are not trying to call their Congress and tell them to take away assault weapons or whatever. So it's kind of ridiculous. But my point is, is it's just another way for them to fight dirty. And this is basically a lie too. So he has AI recreate voices of gun violence. How did they put it? Victims of gun violence. So it's not even real people that are calling Congress, but it's supposed to be portrayed as real people. You see where I'm going? Where this is basically a lie as well. But I also think if I was a member of Congress and I started getting thousands, millions of phone calls, AI generated voices, it wouldn't make me want to pass more gun control. It would just kind of piss me off. And I'd get real sick of getting those phone calls. And it's not like the members of Congress are really the ones taking those phone calls anyway. It's the people that work for them in their office. The whole thing is ridiculous. And he's so proud of this. And I read this whole article about it, and he's like, oh, dude, look at me. Look at what a great thing we did. And it's just stupid. It's just stupid. But I just wanted to bring you guys' attention to those two things. That's just two out of like thousands of things where the people that are fighting to take away our guns are fighting dirty. They are lying. And unfortunately, the people that are in control of the media, which is the left, they repeat these lies. And they repeat them as if they're truths. And that's what we're fighting against. And so again, like I said, that is why it is important to share videos like this. To like, comment, subscribe, all those things that YouTubers always say. Well, it is actually important on gun channels, not just mine, but other gun channels. The more you do that, the more you can get stuff like this out there, the more people might actually see the truth. And that really is important because we've got some very important elections coming up. Very important election coming up. And, we need a Republican president in there so that he can put conservative justices in. Things like that. We've seen what happened with like the Bruen case and stuff. We've seen what's going on in the Supreme Court. Well, the only way that we can continue to have wins is if we have a conservative majority. And the only way we have a conservative majority is if we have a conservative president because he appoints Supreme Court justices. Now, there's a lot of other things we could go into there, and we're not going to in this video. But we just need to spread the word because we need people to not vote for anti-gun left politicians. We need people to stop believing these lies. If you agree with me, please give me a like. If you don't, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed. If you want to support the channel, sign up for Aura 2 weeks for free using my link down there. And I really do believe in it. I've been using it now for a little while, and I'm getting a lot less spam calls. It's kind of sweet. So from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.